Days of Our Lives. The End for Paulina. Abe demands divorce as Lexie wakes up. Salem had a way of holding its breath before the storm. On a cold, pearl-gray morning, the town square shimmered with leftover snow and unspoken dread, as though the brick paths themselves sensed that something irrevocable was about to crack open. The carillon chimed 10 times, each note echoing off the courthouse walls like a warning bell. Inside the mayor's office, Paulina Price stared at her reflection in the darkened window, lipstick flawless, shoulders squared, ready to face the day as Salem's unbreakable force. She didn't know this would be the day her world began to end. Abe Carver had always been the steady one, the moral compass, the man who believed in institutions, marriage, law, redemption. He stood now in the doorway, hand on the frame, watching his wife as if he were memorizing a place he might never return to. Paulina sensed him before she turned. She always did. She smiled, practiced and bright. "Morning, Mr. Carver," she teased. "You look like you've got something on your mind." Abe didn't smile back. "We need to talk," he said. The words landed heavier than any gavel. Paulina waved him in. "If this is about the budget." "It's not," Abe cut in, closing the door behind him. The click echoed. "It's about us." Her smile faltered, just a hair. "Abe, come on. We've both got packed schedules." "Don't," he said gently, which somehow hurt more. "Don't do that." Silence stretched. Outside, someone laughed. Life continued, cruelly indifferent. "I've been doing a lot of thinking," Abe went on. "About the lies. About the things you kept from me. About how many times I had to find out the truth from someone else." Paulina bristled. "I've told you, I did what I had to do to survive." "And I believed you," Abe replied. "I stood by you. I defended you. I told myself love meant forgiveness." Paulina crossed her arms. "So what's this really about?" Abe took a breath that seemed to come from somewhere deep, somewhere wounded. "It's about trust. And it's gone." The words hit like a slap. "Gone," she repeated, incredulous. "After everything we've been through?" "Yes," Abe said. "After everything." She laughed, sharp and brittle. "You don't just walk away from a marriage because things get messy." "I'm not walking away because it's messy," Abe said. "I'm walking away because I don't recognize us anymore." Paulina's eyes flashed. "You're overreacting." "No," he said. "I'm finally reacting." He reached into his coat and placed an envelope on the desk. Paulina stared at it as if it might explode. "What is that?" she asked, though she already knew. "Divorce papers," Abe said quietly. "I want a divorce." The word reverberated through the room, bouncing off memories, wedding vows, laughter, promises whispered in the dark. Paulina's breath hitched. "You can't be serious." "I've never been more serious," Abe said. "I deserve peace. And so do you." She stood, fury rising like a tide. "This is a mistake." "Maybe," Abe said. "But it's my mistake to make." He turned to leave. "Abe," Paulina called, something raw breaking through her armor. "If you walk out that door." He paused but didn't turn around. "I already have." The door closed softly behind him. Paulina sank into her chair, the envelope staring back at her like a death sentence. Across town, at University Hospital, a nurse paused at the doorway of a dimly lit room. The monitors hummed, steady and unchanging, as they had for years. Lexie Carver lay still, her face serene, untouched by time or pain, trapped between worlds. The nurse frowned. "That's odd." Lex's fingers twitched. It was subtle, almost imperceptible. But it happened again. And again. "Doctor," the nurse called, heart racing. Within minutes, the room filled with urgency, doctors, nurses, hushed voices. Lex's eyelids fluttered, lashes trembling like butterfly wings fighting free. "No," the doctor murmured. "After all this time." Lex's lips parted. A sound escaped, barely a whisper. "Kristen." The name rippled through the room like electricity. Word traveled fast in Salem. By lunchtime, everyone knew, Abe and Paulina were done. The whispers were merciless. At the Brady pub, Kate Roberts sipped her martini with a knowing smirk. "I always said that marriage was built on honesty. Without it, it's just a performance." Across from her, Roman raised an eyebrow. "You ever consider taking your own advice?" Kate smiled sweetly. "Frequently." At the D.I. Mera mansion, Kristen D.I. Mera felt a chill crawl up her spine. She stood abruptly, knocking over a vase. Something wrong? Brady asked. Kristen shook her head too quickly. Just a headache. But deep down, something ancient and terrifying stirred. Lexie, her sister. The secret she'd buried under layers of manipulation and lies. Kristen's phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her pulse thundered as she answered. Hello. A voice, shaky but unmistakable, whispered. Kristen, it's Lexie. The world tilted. Lexie's return was nothing short of a miracle. And a nightmare. When Abe received the call, he dropped his phone. Lexie, he breathed, disbelief cracking his composure. He rushed to the hospital, heart pounding. There she was. His daughter. Alive. Dad, Lexie whispered when she saw him. Tears streamed down Abe's face as he took her hand, afraid she might vanish if he blinked. I'm here, he said. I'm not going anywhere. Lexie's eyes clouded. You need to know, before I fell into the coma, there were things Kristen did. Abe stiffened. She was involved in something dangerous, Lexie continued. And Paulina, she knew more than she ever admitted. The words struck like thunder. Paulina didn't expect to see Abe again so soon. When he showed up at her door that evening, his face was pale, eyes blazing. You knew, he said without preamble. She blinked. Knew what? About Lexie. About Kristen, Abe snapped. You knew and you kept it from me. Paulina's defenses rose. I was protecting this family. You were protecting yourself, Abe said. Again. She scoffed. This is ridiculous. You're letting ghosts rewrite our lives. Abe shook his head. No. I'm finally listening to the truth. Paulina felt the ground slipping. Abe, please. I meant what I said, he replied. This marriage is over. He walked away, leaving Paulina standing in the wreckage of her own making. As Lexie regained strength, she told her story, fragmented memories, half-formed images, but damning all the same. Kristen's manipulations. Secrets buried to protect reputations. Deals made in the dark. Salem reeled. Kristen denied everything, of course. She's confused, she insisted. She's been in a coma for years. But doubt crept in. Old wounds reopened. Old sins resurfaced. Paulina watched from the sidelines as her carefully constructed life unraveled. The mayor faced scrutiny. Her marriage lay in ashes. And the one person who had always believed in her, Abe, was gone. One night, alone in the mayor's office, Paulina opened the envelope Abe had left behind. The papers blurred as tears finally fell. I did what I had to do, she whispered to the empty room. Why isn't that enough? The answer never came. Across town, Abe sat at Lex's bedside, holding her hand, the weight of the past pressing in. He thought of Paulina, the woman he loved, the woman he no longer recognized. Some endings were necessary. Some awakenings came too late. Salem would never be the same. A marriage shattered. A daughter returned from the brink of death. Secrets clawing their way into the light. As Lexie opened her eyes to a world that had moved on without her, and Paulina faced the consequences of her choices, one question hung heavy in the air. Was this truly the end for Paulina Price, or merely the beginning of her greatest battle yet? In Salem, endings were rarely final. And awakenings, no matter how miraculous, always came with a price.